All right, we are officially official. Thank you, Angie, for having this call and for putting all of this on. You guys, we did this March Madness this week, and it has been incredible to see different areas, different people tuning in and sharing, their specific niche or their passion or their careers and how it all ties into LifeVantage. So my name is Erica Dale. I am here in Indiana. I kind of split my time between here and Florida as much as I can. And I am a former gym owner. So this call speaks it speaks a lot to me. I grew up in the fitness industry. I'm a former college athlete as well, and just really fell in love with fitness and, moving my body and figuring out what we could do. And then I was introduced to LifeVantage. And to be quite frank with all of you here, back in 2015, I did not understand this. So when I talk to you guys tonight about activation, if any of you are on the line and you've never heard of this or you're not quite sure, I was there as a gym owner. So don't let that turn you off. Luckily for me, my husband, Jesse, who you'll hear from in a little bit, has about, 20, 25 years in the fitness industry. Basically started lifting at the age of 12, dove into bodybuilding, and then really dove into nutrition and all of those things. And I took this to him in hopes that he would tell me, this is a gimmick, this is a fad, you're not putting your name to this, we're not doing this. And in fact, what he said to me was, if this does what it says it does, we need to be taking it, and everyone we know needs to be taking it. And this was a man who did not really believe in a lot of supplementation. And so that was my green light into LifeVantage 7.5 years ago. So I'm going to tell a little bit of my story as we get going, but I'm telling you, LifeVantage is a game changer, not just for athletes, not just for fitness professionals, but for every human being. If you've never heard of free radicals, if you've never heard of oxidative stress, I'm here to tell you that they are rampant in your body, and there's nothing that you can do to avoid them, right? Unless you live, if anyone ever watched that movie, Bubble Boy, unless you live in a bubble, you cannot avoid oxidative stress. It's caused because of the air we breathe, the food you drink, the water, or the food you eat, the water you drink, aging, every single thing that you touch every single day is literally changing the insides of your body. It's causing you to have free radicals. It's causing you to have oxidative stress. And you can see right here that oxidative stress is linked to all of these other issues. In fact, if you go to PubMed.gov, the National Library of Medicine, and you type in the words oxidative stress, you'll find over 250,000 results. Because you could literally read for the rest of your lives on how oxidative stress affects the body. But we're here to tell you, you don't want to spend your time reading, you want to spend your time getting on top of it. And that's truly what activation is. That's where we kind of got our start with this flagship product that's called Protandim. It's an NRF2 activator. And essentially what this product does is it heals and repairs damaged cells inside of the body. It lowers your body's oxidative stress on average 40% in 30 days. So back in 2005, we got our big break because ABC News, yes, the actual news station, came to us and said, you know what? We don't believe what you're saying. We don't think that any of this is true, and we're going to investigate you in this product. And so John Quiones, he was the lead investigator, the lead reporter. He actually went on air and got his lab work done. He began taking Protandim, and then he had his lab work done again on live TV 14 days later. And they actually proved that this flagship product reduced his oxidative stress levels 45% in only 14 days. You guys, when we saw this ABC News clip, and if you haven't yet, get back with the person that invited you. Tell them you want to see this 8-minute news clip, because it will blow your mind. And what really drove me to say yes to this company, what really allowed my husband to say yes to this company and put our names as fitness professionals to these products, was truly the science. It was that this was real, this was validated, this wasn't a gimmick, this wasn't a fad. You guys, if you're familiar with the supplement industry, it's probably $1 trillion industry that essentially is selling you product that you don't need. It's selling you product that really isn't doing anything for you, and it's expensive urine, meaning that you take it and your body flushes it out because it's not absorbing it. So when we saw that this product had, at the time, 23 peer-reviewed research studies, now I think we're up to 28, done by places like Ohio State University, the American Heart Association, the National Institute of Aging, our heads really were like, wait, tell me more. You know, my husband actually overheard me on a call much like this back in 2015, and he interrupted me and he said, well, you mean that the ingredients are studied? The ingredients are on PubMed.gov. And I said, no, Protandem. If you go type Protandem in, you can read these studies. And he said, Erica, that is insane because products like this do not have studies attached to them. In fact, go into your medicine cabinet and let me know how many of those products have a study from Harvard University. You're not going to find it. And so that really intrigued us as fitness professionals, as gym owners, to say, okay, you know what? We need to be a part of not only taking the product, but we need to be telling other people about this because it truly is making a difference in people's bodies. Just last year, we actually introduced our newest breakthrough in activation, and that's our True Science Liquid Collagen. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. Can I be honest here for just a few minutes? I was not excited about collagen. I knew it was coming, and I wasn't excited because in my understanding of collagen, it simply helped with hair, skin, and nails. And that's great. We all want to age gracefully. We want to look good. And if you tell me you don't, you're lying. But I didn't really care to spend my money on something just for those three things. But when I learned about this product and what this particular product does and why it's superior, why it's unique to us, and also what it's doing inside of the body, I said, okay, I need to get on this. I need to know more about this collagen. And yes, it is helping my hair, it is helping my skin and all of those beautiful things, but it's truly what's happening inside of the body. And the reason that this particular collagen is different from anything else you can go get on the market is because it is activating your body's production of collagen. So around the age of 20, your body starts to become depleted of collagen. It's just not producing it. It's because of age. So you can't control it again. But this actually gets your body producing it again. That's why it's different from any other collagen on the market, you guys. And it's doing incredible things that go beyond skin deep. Did you know that your eyes are made up of about 90% collagen? I had no idea. No idea. Your obviously nails and hair and skin, we mentioned that. Your brain health, your sleep quality, any of you want to sleep better, your gut health. My girlfriend has been activating her body with all of our other products for about 5 years. And her gut health was the one thing she couldn't get in control. It was better, but she still was dealing with a lot of issues. She added in this collagen, and that was the one thing she needed. Her body simply was lacking the collagen that it once had when she was younger. Joint health, muscle recovery, for those of us in the fitness industry, that's super important. My husband's going to talk to you a little bit about his joints and what this collagen has helped him to do in the last 6 months. This is Betty. Absolutely remarkable. Again, the results that we can see on the outside, mind-blowing, because this is in 5 months. Imagine what this is going to be doing for her in the next 6 months to come, the next 3 years to come. Yes, the skin, yes, the tightening, it's incredible. The amount of pictures of women's legs that I've seen over the last 8 months, like insane. If I didn't know these people myself, I would think they were lying. I would think that they were like filtering every result that they're posting. But these are people we know personally. So we have an entire line of activation products. We couldn't sit here and talk to you about them all in one night, but I'm telling you, they're truly they're activating your body inside and outside, right? On a cellular level. We really want to focus tonight on our Tri-Synergizer, which is the anti-aging category you see here. It's the 3 blue bottles. And these are incredible products, you guys. Without getting like super, super deep into the science, we're talking about, again, repairing the cells on a cellular level, reducing your body's oxidative stress, repairing the mitochondria. And even if you're not a science geek, we all know that the mitochondria, the mighty mitochondria, that's how I remember it from 8th grade science, is the powerhouse of every cell in the body. It's literally running your body. But as time goes on, as you age, It doesn't do its job like it's supposed to. This product is going to reverse that. And then our Protandim NAD, which essentially is going to reverse the damage to your sirtuins. These are 3 products that I will not miss every single day. But I'm telling you, I take everything that we have to offer. It's all really, really remarkable. So why LifeVantage? Why now? Well, LifeVantage is the perfect vehicle. Because I started this company in 2015. I was managing our gym. My husband, Jesse, and I were not married yet. I wasn't the gym owner. I was just dating him. And I had $226 the day I said yes to this company. Essentially, Jesse gave him my green light because he said he would take the product and I trusted everything that he would do. But at the end of the day, I needed to make money. I needed to share a product that I could trust, that I knew would get results for the people that I love. But I needed to make an income because I was skipping bills to pay bills. When I understood the power of going out and creating leveraged income by building a team and by doing social selling, it was a no-brainer. I was already doing that, right? Telling people to come to my gym, telling people to go and try this product or go see this movie or try this restaurant, but I wasn't making any money doing that. I also loved the idea that LifeVantage is publicly traded, meaning there's nothing that we're hiding. It's debt-free. So there's no question of when or how we're going to get paid. We only have 60,000 US consultants, meaning nobody knows about us. In fact, if I went out on the street and spoke to 10 people in the next hour, I would venture to guess that maybe one person in my local community has even heard of LifeVantage. So if you're looking as a way to pairing up your love of fitness, your love of health, your gym industry, or whatever it is that you're currently doing, adding LifeVantage to that is the perfect meld. So I want to bring on a couple of our speakers tonight to really share their story and tell you why they said yes to LifeVantage. So up first, we have Jesse Dale. That is my husband. And just to brag on Jesse a little bit, he has been in the fitness industry. I mentioned that since he was about 12 years old. He really just got into lifting so that he wouldn't get bullied in school. And that turned into a passion and a love for bodybuilding. He became a personal trainer back in the Valley Fitness days, if anyone was familiar with that gym. He worked his way up to management, and then he traveled and opened up multiple stores. He went on to open up his own gym. He has probably 23, 25 different certifications between fitness and nutrition. And we like to joke in our house because I recently got my PhD in holistic nutrition. And so it's a joke that I have the PhD, but this dude has more knowledge on nutrition and fitness and health than I think I could live the rest of the days of my life and never know as much as he knows. So I'm going to bring him on here. Jesse, just share, 5 minutes of your story and what you're doing with LifeVantage and how this has helped you on your journey.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for spending your Thursday night with us and tuning in. That shows a lot about your character and your desire to want to grow. So just like Erica said, we own the gyms, or I own the gyms, and I also promoted some bodybuilding shows. So that combination, you get a lot of supplement companies daily walking in, pitching you on their products. For our bodybuilding shows, they didn't even pitch us. They gave us the products. So I had literally almost a warehouse or a garage full of just free products everywhere that I had heard of, Celtech, Mesotech, all the brands. And the reason I even looked into this is because I hadn't heard of it. So why would I look into it? Because I haven't heard of it. These national brands that you see at like GNC, all of their dollars and money goes into marketing of the product, to pay guys, famous bodybuilders, famous celebrities to hold the product and endorse it. That's where a majority of their money goes to. So when I saw a product that I had never heard of, and I'm pitched products daily, I wanted to take a look first and foremost at the science. Like Erica said, I wasn't about really anything else other than that, but the science drew me in. I was getting ready to get back into competitive bodybuilding after a 12-year hiatus. And I'm like, hey, every scientific advantage this old man can use, I will take. This had the literature, it had the data. So I started taking Protandim, the flagship product, NRF2. Again, every inch matters in the sport of bodybuilding. And what I immediately noticed is exactly what the literature said is The reduction in oxidative stress for me helped me get better sleep. So if you're looking to recover and put on muscle or just get day to day, sleep is everything. It drives every hormonal rhythm in your body. If you're not sleeping, that is the game. Sleep is the ball game. So I went on to compete that day, and I added NRF1 or the Synergizer, so it's Protandim NRF1 and NAD, but mainly it was NRF2 that I was taking through the entire prep. And I had my best year I've ever had. And I was recovering. You know that building muscle is all about recovery. So, if you get into the gym and you're like down, you're like, oh man, my muscles are still sore. Yeah, it's macho. You're like, oh, I'll work through it. But you're not able to add quality tissue if you're not in that recovery. So that was absolutely huge. I had my best bodybuilding year. I've been competing since 18, had my best bodybuilding year I've ever had at the age of 40. I was wiping the floor with the 22-year-olds. I mean, it was great. And I think our business probably took a good uprising because of that, because everyone, when you're a bodybuilder, everyone wants to know, bro, what supplements do you take? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I take, some creatine, some of this that everyone's heard of. And then I've added this. And that was the one, like, I almost didn't want to tell them because I plan on competing again. And it's like, I don't want to give them the advantage. That was like my secret advantage to winning shows. So that's kind of how it helped me from a recovery standpoint and a sleep standpoint, which again, that's your hormones. That's your insulin-like growth factor, your testosterone. Then fast forward to collagen. Now I was on several products. I was on the Omegas. Like I said, I was on NRF1, NAD. I mean, I was in. This was great. Feeling good. Had my energy back, which had started to dip at the age of 40. I was actually diagnosed with low T in 2016. So, when you're diagnosed with really low T, you're not like this ball of energy. So NRF1 or NRF2 helped a ton with that as well. So fast forward, they were talking about maybe coming out with a collagen. And I'm like, oh, collagen. See, that I had heard of. I had heard of collagen. Everyone's pitching collagen. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Soft tissue, nails, skin, things of that nature, eyelashes. I didn't care about that. But I'm like, you know what? It's got data. It's got research. I'll have a little better moon face. That's fine. It'll help me with that. I'll have better nails. That's cool. So I started to take the collagen. And one of the things I'd given up on in life was a 405-pound bench press. I also did powerlifting in my younger days. And 405 is like 4 plates. So if you're less than 200 pounds and you're in the 4-plate club, dude, you're balling. Like that's like a big deal in the powerlifting community if you weigh less than 200 pounds. I had given up on that. I was close. I got about 375 in competition once, but those days were long over. So I started taking the collagen and I was training with a buddy, and he was like, dude, let's max out on the bench. Well, the reason that I'd given up on powerlifting and heavy lifting period was when you're a bodybuilder, you're cool being sore. You brag about being sore. Oh, my legs are so sore. You want your muscles to be sore. That's okay. But when your joints are sore, dude, that's not a good thing. When your joints are sore, that's like, I don't want to be, floating the payment for my surgeon's next boat. You know what I mean? Joints are real. That's serious pain. So when your joints are telling you something, they're telling you back off. And my shoulder joint had always been saying, back off, this is too heavy. And so I did back off. Well, when my buddy was like, hey, let's see what we can bench, I'm like, I'll see. I'll go until it doesn't hurt, And this is about 30 days into collagen. So I'm on 365 and I couldn't believe it. 0 pain. And I actually stopped at that. I'm like, this is nuts, man. I don't feel any pain, but I don't know. Maybe it's adrenaline or who knows, man. And a week later, I'm like, man, that just felt so good. And I started to monitor my joints. I'm like, wow. My knees feel good. Like I used to do CrossFit, box jumps, hopping all over the gym. Like, wow, these knees feel really, really good. So long story short, I went and did the 405 at the age of 44. And it just went up with like bread and butter. I could not believe it. The people in the industry were like floored. They're like, man, we've been following you as a power lifter. That's crazy. You just did that at the local gym. Like no chalk, no psyching up, just, like put the weight on and popped it up. So it really, really just kind of liberated me at this age to be like, wow, this is crazy. Because with powerlifting and bodybuilding, I was talking about the good old days, the good old days when I compete, the good old days when I lift heavy. these products are now allowing me to live my best new days. So absolutely incredible. And I'd recommend them. And I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend anyone look at the science, apply them to yourself, and then you tell me.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Jesse. And yeah, I was on the other side of that video when he sent that to me, and I'm like, you don't even like, you don't train for this anymore. How is this happening? So it's pretty remarkable what the body can do. We all know what our bodies are capable of when they're working correctly. So our next speaker, Garrett Harper, Miss Angie's husband. I'm going to read a little bit of his bio because I didn't even know some of this, Garrett. So Garrett graduated from Gonzaga University with a degree in kinesiology. He's also a former gym owner and competitive powerlifter. And let me tell you, when my husband and Garrett have gotten together on different incentive trips, and man, the bro science, they're just like, West Side. Yeah, I know West Side. And like, these two are two peas in a pod, but it's a lot of fun to watch. Garrett's now a strength and conditioning coach and spends his days helping teen athletes like his two boys how to properly lift and eat so that they can perform at their highest level possible. And Garrett, much like myself, was a huge skeptic when Angie brought these products to him 6 years ago. But it wasn't until he started activating his own body, doing his own research, that he started to understand the difference between activation and supplementation. So Garrett, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for that amazing intro. Hopefully I can live up to that. And hopefully I can follow Jesse there. That was pretty phenomenal also. So thanks, Erica. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Thursday night. This is kind of a series of these awesome little March Madness, just educational events that we've been doing. And it's fantastic to see the number of people that we've got on here that have joined us to listen in. I'm going to focus a little bit today on younger athletes. So Jesse just had some awesome information about, I guess, what we would call the masters athlete, right? Those over 40, and the phenomenal things that these products have been able to do for him and myself as well. Had some great results, but I want to talk a little bit about the younger crowd. And I want to do that because one of the things I absolutely love doing is working with young athletes. I've been doing it for about 23 years. I've done it professionally, and now I do it just voluntarily. And voluntarily is actually a lot more fun. I don't have to put up with parents. I don't have to put up with collecting, payment every month, which is, as we all know, if you own a gym or have been in that industry, that's some of the hardest stuff that you deal with. So I train groups of kids, my boys and their friends, and it's incredibly rewarding. But one of the things that they're always looking to do is these kids, I always want to know, how do I get bigger? How do I get stronger? I need to add 50 pounds in 2 weeks. And it's like, okay, guys, let's reshape our thinking on this entire thing. Let's think long-term. And let's understand how your body's going to react to this training and what the proper training looks like and the proper recovery, some of the things that Jesse touched on. And so once we kind of have that conversation, then they get into, okay, well, what supplements should I take? I saw this and I saw that and I saw this. And the supplement industry, as we've discussed, it is largely a scam. It preys on younger people, and it preys on people that are looking for the quick fix. It preys on people that need to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. It preys on people that want to gain 100 pounds on their bench in 100 days, right? There's just constantly gimmicks that are coming out there. And what's exploded and made this problem even worse is social media, because all these companies market on social media, and they know exactly that age group that they're going after. And when it comes to young athletes, it's kind of that 15 to 20-year-old market segment, and they're just trying to rip you off. I tell all the kids that I train with all the time, if you want to get stronger, if you want to put on quality muscle, if you want to be a better athlete, you have to commit yourself to it. And if you want to be stronger, you need 5 to 7 years of training 4 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's just the facts. If you want to get really strong, you're going to do that for 10 years. If you want to get really, really strong, you do that for 15 years. And if you want to be world-class strong and you want to be on TV or doing high-level competitions, it's 20 years of consistent nonstop training 4 days a week. And that is the fastest way to do it. And people simply don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you have to put in a long period of work. And especially when you're 15 years old, when somebody tells you you got to do something for 20 years to be successful at it, you're just like, forget it. That's longer than I've been alive, right? So I try to reset the expectations with these kids, but I also try to set an example, because that's literally what I did myself. And I also try to set an example for them when it comes to diet and supplementation. And the first thing I say, 99% of the stuff out there is garbage. don't even bother with it, right? It's simply not worth it. There's nothing that backs it up. It's hype and it's marketing, and it's brilliant marketing. I'll give you supplement companies that, but there's no research behind it. And that was one of the really intriguing things about LifeVantage. Very similar to Erica and Jesse, what you went through. When Angie brought this to me, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, no, no, we're just not doing this, right? This is just, I don't want anything to do with it. Well, Ange is pretty persistent. If you guys know her, that's probably why she's really good at this. And she said, well, I'm going to go through with it and I'm going to do the research. And if you ever come around and want to read any of these 33 studies, let me know. So after about a year, she wore me down. I started reading the studies, understanding the science behind this, understanding that these are third parties that did this testing on their own. LifeVantage did not pay for this testing. This was simply done on their own. And then I started taking the products and literally noticed some really, really significant results, which is rare when it comes to supplements. When it comes to younger athletes, though, and I'm talking here about particularly teenagers, maybe folks in the early 20s. Yes, the things that we've talked about, the NRF2, it's great. NRF1, collagen, those things are certainly not going to hurt. I don't feel personally, though, that a younger athlete is going to see as significant a benefit as those of us that are, shall we say, slightly older see from these products, simply because of the aging process. So what I focus on with the younger kids is things that are going to really help them and enhance the recovery. And so the number one supplement that I recommend every single young athlete take is an 8-hour nap every day. That's the single best supplement. So if you can get an 8-hour nap, AKA 8 hours of sleep a night, that's going to do more than any other supplement in the world for your recovery. And that's even as you get older as well. Sleep is the number one recovery. And so we recently came out with a product, the Reset PM, which again, I was really skeptical of when we launched it. I'm like, vitamins? No, come on, we're not doing vitamins. But the formulation of this, the Reset PM with the magnesium and a couple of the other nutrients that are in there, I've been taking that for about a month now, and I've never really had trouble sleeping, but man, do I fall asleep instantly, and man, do I sleep hard all night. And I love that stuff. And I'm telling the kids too that I train with, listen, guys, if you're a teen and your hormones are going crazy, that pituitary gland is firing off like crazy, the thyroid's going nuts, you've got hormones everywhere. Sometimes you have a really difficult time calming your mind down and sleeping at night. That Reset PM can be an absolute game changer for a young athlete. And if they can get that 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep a night, it's going to separate them from everybody else. So that's one of the very first things that I recommend. The second one is that if you go onto a high school campus, you go to a local gas station, you go to a football game, you're going to see kids walking around with Bang Energy, Rain Body Fuel, Red Bull. I mean, I don't know how many energy drinks are out there now. It's got to be in the hundreds of different brands that are available. And kids love these things, right? Because they get them jacked up. They're all wired. They bounce around. They act crazy. The long-term consequences of that are not good, right? We're talking adrenal burnout, excessive consumption of caffeine is not healthy in the long term. And these kids, they always want to get jacked though. And they want their pre-workout, they want their C4, and they're going to take raw powder and then bounce around the gym. It doesn't do you any good to be completely hyped up and have unlimited energy if you have no focus. And a great example of that is shooting free throws in basketball. And look at a guy like Steph Curry, who, yes, when he's on the line, he is energized, right? He wants to win the game, but he has incredible focus. If you have energy with no focus, it's pointless. And that doesn't matter whether any sport that you're doing. You could be a football linebacker and you could be just psyched out of your mind trying to make a big hit. If you can't focus that energy, you're worthless to your team. So instead of having these kids drink energy drinks and all this pre-workout stuff, we give them free samples of AgeWell. And I can't tell you how many kids come back and say, hey, Ryan or Nick asking our boys, can I get some more of that stuff? Right? I really like that. And they like it because it doesn't amp them up and send them through the roof, but it gives them laser-like focus on the task at hand. So whether they're lifting in the gym with us, whether they're doing a test at school, whether they're at practice, they have a laser-like focus on what they're doing. It has a nootropic effect. Yes, it does have some stimulant in it. There's a small amount of caffeine, about 80 to 100 milligrams, which is about half of a cup of coffee. But it's got taurine, it's got some B vitamins and some other things that really help the mind focus. So I highly encourage the kids to get off the energy drinks and to instead try something like AgeWell. And then the third thing, and this is something, again, I was a complete skeptic on because I don't believe hype. CBD became really popular several years ago as there were changing attitudes towards cannabis across the country, laws legalizing its use. Well, then people found out, hey, there's a lot of other parts of this plant that could have a medicinal purpose. And again, the CBD thing was, in my opinion, really, really overhyped. I never bought into it, but being a little bit older than I was before, and still liking to train very heavy, as Jesse was talking about, I do deal with joint issues. And actually, it's funny, I don't really notice it when I'm training, but I notice it when I do my projects around the house, right? Whether I'm working outside or I'm working in the garage, building something, those joints get really sore at the end of the day. And instead of popping Advil or Aleve or something, or Tylenol, which again, long-term effects on the liver and the kidneys, not good. A couple pumps of the CBD on the joints is absolutely incredible. And I encourage that for anybody, young or old. If you're looking for a different form of pain relief, you don't have to rely on something that's harsh on your liver and your kidneys. The CBD is incredible for that. I absolutely love this stuff. So a couple of different things to think about, a couple of different perspectives to think about, especially if you got young athletes or young kids that you work with on a regular basis. Look into these products a little bit more, especially those three that I talked about, and encourage you to just try something different. And I'll go ahead and wrap it up and give it back to you, Erica.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, I love the three products that you focused on, and that CBD. Same, everything that Garrett's saying, I'm like, that was me. I was skeptical. I wasn't excited about these things because a lot of it is hype in the market. But when you follow the science of these LifeVantage and the activation, they're game changers. So our last speaker that we'll wrap up the night with is Mario Schill. And I actually just was introduced to Mario at our last event, and just a remarkable story. So Mario was born and raised in Germany for the first 10 years of his life. He currently resides in Frisco, Texas, and his expertise and passions rely on food, nutrition. He has a dietetics degree from Stephen F. Austin State University, and he's been in the fitness industry for 17 years. He had his own training business for 5, and now he's currently the general manager, head trainer at Body Machine Fitness in Plano, Texas. So Mario, give us 4 or 5 minutes of just your take on these products and why you use them yourself and promote them to other people as well.
First off, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? So my story is probably not as remarkable as everybody else on here. So, doing this LifeVantage thing for about 4 months now, but fitness, I've been doing this for a while now. It's actually a similar story to Jesse. I think that's what his name was, right, Jesse? Yes. Bodybuilding, I did that, started at 17 years old as well, pretty young. And it all started from insecurities, coming from abroad. So for me, I felt like I never fit in or anything. And it was hard getting into the culture here in the United States and being accepted, I guess you could say. So for me, the bullying thing was always kind of big, and I wanted to be different. I wanted to change, and there was something innate and inside me, and I didn't know how to get it out. And that passion, I guess, came through fitness, and that started with working on, changing myself. And I always say change is never a matter of the ability to do it. It's always a matter of that motivation with it. So another word we would say, I guess, leverage. But my journey started very young in high school, and then went to the high school at Kilgore, East Texas. And then from there, graduated, went to Stephen F. Austin State University, which is also in East Texas. And from there, I just kept going into the fitness career. And eventually, I know I got a short amount of time to talk on, I think, but eventually I made my way to Dallas and owned my own business for 5 years. I started with 24-hour fitness. I know Bally's as well. I did some things with them. So it's actually kind of funny hearing some of these stories on here. And after that, after my own business, I kind of stumbled across BMF, and the CEO there kind of mentioned the LifeVantage products to me. and I was not about it. For me, the multi-level marketing and all the products out there, it's something I heard about all the time, and it was just a waste of time. Again, because for me, it was getting, micronutrients, getting all my antioxidant rich foods in, and making sure I eat quality food and exercise the right way. And that was my focus. So for me, supplementation was never the biggest thing, other than your, simple. Think about your creatines, your amino acids, and multivitamins. That was probably about the deepest I went when it came to the supplementation and your protein. So, but Jeremy got me into LifeVantage, and I said, you know what, I'll check it out. And what got me was more of the actual studies and everything. So the products have proven the efficacy and they have a big credibility on it. So for me, I like to look at the abstracts, and I'm a little bit of a nerd. So learning and seeing what these products can do for people, I was like, yo, somebody is paying me to give these products a voice. I think I can do that. And the funny story with that is, again, I've only been with LifeVantage for 4 months. I didn't even take anything but the Axio, but I just drank the Kool-Aid, and I started hypening up everything you guys told me, and I became a believer instantly that way. And basically, for me, I think it's just the reputation I've had and the credibility that I have for myself. And I've never endorsed any companies or products ever in my life. So when I do talk about something, a lot of people usually listen closely. So that led me into trying, obviously, all the products. And just as everyone in here said, there's been a lot of changes personally I've experienced that I just shared. And the biggest thing for me, I always say, open your mouth and have a conversation with that person beside you. Most everyone in this world is looking for something to get them to that next level, to feel better, to change something about themselves. And I think we have those activators at hand. It just takes us as a family, as a big culture, to just start investing in and talking more about it. Yeah, so that was pretty much it for me. But the products by themselves, I love them. It's more so the attraction of the people as well. So the crew that I'm with, Michelle, Sean and Michelle Poe, George and Teresa Caldes, they were very inviting. So for me, I'm big on like finding like a culture, a family type vibe, because I never had that growing up. And I would give everything away, like even the money I've made with LifeVantage, just for the people. The people is what I love here. And I appreciate every one of you guys. And it just gives me another platform to really, have something to say, and hopefully encourage other people to step up and be in the limelight someday and have that same courage that I'm having. Because believe it or not having my first language not being English, it being German, very, very shy of talking around people. And now I talk on a stage daily in front of individuals I coach on a daily. But yeah, LifeVantage is a blessing, that's for sure. And number one thing I like about it is the people, and obviously the products. You guys hear about it all the time, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what they do and what they can do. I know we all are all on the same page with that.
Oh, I love it, Mario. And thank you for tying that in there, because I think that it's so important, especially in today's world, like having the culture that we have, the people that we have. It's remarkable. So guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much to Jesse and Garrett and Mario, and all of you for being here. And as I end this, I just want to share, if you are a fitness professional, the two types that I typically run into are trainers or managers who don't make a lot of money, who struggle financially, or the opposite is the CEO or the gym owner who don't have any time, right? Because they're constantly there. And Jesse and I were in both worlds. And what LifeVantage has done for us is given us complete autonomy. It's allowed us to close our gyms. That might not be your journey, and that's okay. But for us, it's allowed us to step into other positions that has given us a path to make a bigger impact in this world, but also to give us the autonomy to travel when we want and live life on our terms. So just get back with the person that invited you here, whether that's to jump into some of these products or even to jump into the business side of things. Like you've heard from these incredible gentlemen, both are an incredible avenue, and we would love to have you. So thanks for having me on, Ange, and hope you guys have the good rest of your night.
Thank you.